Hello, welcome to the Summer League Men's Basketball Preview Show as we get ready for the season to get started on November 7th. And then, Bradley, the Summer League schedule gets going on December 19th. So here we go. Welcome back to the Summer League Men's Basketball Preview Show, and we are counting them down in the preseason poll. Number 6 is Kansas City, and they are in the third year back now after a stint in the WAC. The Roos were tied for third in the league last season, had a really good year, but some shakeup in Kansas City now.
Again, a coaching change and a complete roster change, so this is going to be a completely different Kansas City team. But I think there's a lot of enthusiasm around the program. I'm anxious to see how that continues to build.
Marvin Menzies had success as a coach at New Mexico State, and then he was at UNLV, and last coached at Grand Canyon, and now at Kansas City. That's the big question. Why Kansas City? Why now? Welcome, by the way, to the Summit League.
But pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Why KC at this time?
You know, it checked a lot of boxes for me for where I'm at in this stage of my life, my career. I wanted to go somewhere where I could make a difference, be impactful. I actually wanted some challenges to see if the advice and the consulting that I do with guys is really as good as I think it is. So we've got a blueprint that we've seen before and done before, and I feel like this is a perfect fit for that same strategy.
You bring in a lot of new players, but with Anderson Kopp and some of these guys that are coming back,
right,
they might feel that they have a little extra to prove. There's kind of a weird dynamic, isn't there, every year when you have to kind of meld the guys that are there with the new guys?
There is if you don't get in front of it.
Yeah.
I recruited those guys to stay.
Yeah.
I recruited the other guys to come. I recruited all of them. So there's no more us and them. Now, experience, I expect more from you. And I'm going to hold you more accountable to holding your teammates accountable, right? So that's where there's a transition period for those guys to get comfortable receiving information, make sure that we're delivering the message of constructive criticism the right way. Mm-hmm. So there's still an educational process to get those guys to all be one, but I think that's where it comes back down to recruiting the right ingredients, the right players. If you have good ingredients from the beginning, just don't mess up the recipe, and the final product's gonna be pretty good, right? Well, that's what we have. We got great ingredients, and now we're starting to put the recipe together. When you're putting a roster together, the first thing you want is talent. And so you're looking at the most athletic, the most efficient shooters, defenders, what have you, that you feel like your team needs in your style of play. But then you got to really do a deep dive, an FBI type background investigation to find out, are these going to be kids that are going to have full buy-in? How are their parents? What were they taught growing up? What was their environment? Did they learn from their environment? We've had some guys that came up in rough surroundings, but have a new mentality of how to approach things in life. So, you start with the talent, then you dive into the character, and then you coach them up, man. Hopefully you get a bunch of wins.
All right, and March is the big deal. I mean, that's the thing in Kansas City, never an NCAA tournament. That's the goal, right?
Well, one of the reasons, when you asked me earlier about one of the reasons Kansas City was, I wanted a place that hadn't experienced yet, that didn't have the tradition or the history of winning conference or being, an NCAA name called at Selection Sunday.
Right.
That will light this town on fire.
He mentioned the blueprint that worked for him. I think specifically at New Mexico State, when you look at his teams, they were very athletic, very pressure defensive oriented. I expect him to coach this Kansas City team in that manner. Full court defense in your face.
They have 11 freshmen. I think he mentioned that. Akeem Olajuwon's son is on this roster from Houston. He's only 6'4", but he's there. But here is Anderson Kopp. He is one of the 4 guys that are back from last year. He was the Roos' best three-point shooter last season.
Just improving on my shooting. I think I can do a lot more. I had an off-season surgery that cleaned up some stuff that I was battling through last year, so my body's feeling a lot healthier. I just want to be able to put it on the bounce a little bit more this year, and also just continue doing what I do, which is shooting the ball. And then obviously Coach Menzies has a great defensive plan, and so he's been really working with me on defense and taking that level up and up since he's got here.
They will be interesting, if nothing else, to watch this year, Bradley.
Absolutely, yeah. Anytime you got a new team, new faces, new coach, there's a lot of unknowns, but a lot of excitement around it, too.
All right, Kansas City at number 6. The season starts November 7th. we will see you out there. Thanks for watching on Midco Sports.